Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 262. Thank you so much for being here with me. And today I wanted to talk about a couple of things. So these are in my notes. So are we going to shrink back into familiarity, or are we going to step forward before the external proof arrives of what we're wanting? So keep this in mind. This is self one and self two. The familiar is self one. Self two is stepping forward, even though there's no proof yet of what you're wanting. So we have to stay true to that vision, right? We've got to remember that we came up with this vision for ourselves. And if you haven't, create that vision. Follow your bliss. Anything that makes you feel happy, excited, joyful. Figure out what lights you up and create a vision for yourself and live with intention and behave and act in accordance and in congruence with that vision. And pretty soon it will harden into fact. Like Neville said, persist and it will harden into fact. We forget to do that. I think we're so distracted by the noise around us and the noise inside of our heads. We got to remember this thinker up here, it got to go. We got to go with our heart. So you've got to remember what your heart is saying to you. That's your vision of what you're wanting for yourself. So we can't shrink back. I believe we're always growing. So I personally think that a lot of our feelings of sadness and grief and all of those things we hold on to for years are just us basically being buried by shoulds, or buried by regrets, buried by should haves. I should have done this. Should have done that. Wish I would have done this. Wish I would have made this decision and not this decision, and things like that. We just think too much. And so if we were to shut that down, who would we become? So think about that. Who would I become if I were to shut down those old thoughts that have just been running around in my mind? And so I think we just don't live from our hearts enough at all, and we're never being our true selves. And I mean, I've seen this in a lot of people. I've seen this in myself. I've noticed it's like we have to incorporate things that light us up every day. So figure out what lights you up, what really makes you feel good. And then basically, and I have this in my notes too, I want to stay on track because I can get off track. We want to celebrate our accomplishments too. That's another thing. Celebrate yourself daily. Think about what you've done that day. Go over your day. Maybe when you get into bed tonight or tomorrow night, whenever. Go through your day and be like, oh, I got that done. I accomplished this today. But why does it make you feel so good when you accomplish something? Think about that, because it's not just the accomplishing of something. It's maybe that, oh, I showed up for myself today. And that's pretty awesome, because people aren't going to show up for you unless you show up for you. You'll notice that. So nothing feels better than when you actually keep your word to yourself. And also that teaches other people how to treat you. When you mean business with yourself, other people are going to be like, oh, they mean business. I better mean business with them too. They're dependable for themselves. I better be dependable for them and myself too. You'll be the lighthouse for other people and the example. So, and that's another thing I'm real big on is never let anybody change who you are. Always stay true to who you are. Don't let somebody take you out of character, basically. Like, you're this person, you're this character, you have all these traits, you have these values and morals and things that you believe in, and never let anybody take you down out of that. Sometimes we want to cuss out people, right? You cuss them out in your head. Don't do it in person. Just cuss them out in your head and then be like, okay, that was just angry me. I didn't mean that, but that felt pretty good for 30 seconds. And then you just let it go, and remember that you're generating these feelings from your thoughts. So just get the feeling out. Acknowledge, how am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? And then, so this is a moment-to-moment practice. We have to remember. Let's see. So moment to moment, yes, you want to be the person that you're trying to become, that identity. So you just moment to moment practice this, now to now to now. There's always a next now after this now. So if you just practice staying in the now and remembering, hey, like this kind of thing makes me feel bliss. This kind of thing lights me up. This kind of thing gets me excited. And only you're going to know what those things are. You have to really study what you're thinking. And I've said this a lot of times, but I think it's the most priceless thing ever to know yourself and know what your wants and needs are and give those to yourself, because you'll get them externally later, but give them to yourself first. And to add on to yesterday's SP talk, like make a list of the qualities that you want in a person and then become that person. Like, don't hold back on your list. I mean, literally write everything down physically you want in the person, every single thing. If you got to create this person like a Sims character, then how would you have them be? And then like down to, are they affectionate? Are they loving? Are they giving? Are they generous? All these things. And then look at everything that you wrote down and practice becoming all of those things and watch what happens. Because you're going to feel so good when you're just being those things for others. And then also simultaneously attracting somebody that does those things and is those things. So it's kind of a cool practice. I really love to do that because I think it's so fun to just write down the things that you want and really feel how it would feel to have them. And then you just kind of practice either being that or having that or driving that, whatever it is. And just practice the feeling. That's what we want to get, is the feeling. We want to catch that feeling and hold on to it and then live from that feeling. So yeah, it's a moment-to-moment practice that we have to remember that we're creating a skill set to get through this life school or earth school that we're in. And we're getting a very high degree here because it is not easy to live on earth, but our souls are here for a reason. And I feel like, why should we be suffering? I feel like suffering we don't need to suffer. We don't need to suffer. And a lot of times we're just suffering because we're thinking thoughts that just don't serve us anymore. So just start somewhere and start thinking about what really gets me excited, what lights me up, what makes me happy, what type of person do I want to become this year? This is the year to change. This is the day to change. This is the time to change. This is the now to change. Practice being present with yourself and remembering that the past does not matter. It's only now that matters. So the more you practice being in the now, you're going to find that you really don't care too much about the past or the future anymore. You just start to feel bliss. That's what we want to get to. And we just don't. We're not taught these things. We don't learn how to regulate our emotions. We don't know what triggers are. We don't know what any of these things are. These are just buzzwords, of course, triggers and all these things. They're just buzzwords, but they mean something. And so if something bothers you, figure out why, and then learn to let go. I think we hold on to way too many things. And we've got to learn to just sometimes let go. We don't need to know the why all the time. We don't need to analyze every single thing. We don't need to talk so much. That's another thing. Sometimes we just need to be and just like be in the silence with ourselves and just feel ourselves. What are you feeling right now? What are you thinking about? What's the next move you're going to make? John Deloney, he has a podcast and he talks about, what's the next right move to make? What's the next right step we need to take? And that step could just be making a decision. Like, I'm not going to think this particular thought anymore, or, but always remember that every action that you have has an energy behind it. So ask yourself, what energy is behind this action that I'm going to, like this thing I'm going to stop doing? It's not out of revenge, because you got to watch out. Like, if you stop doing something, this person isn't doing this anymore, so I'm just going to stop doing this because they stopped doing that too. And it's like, that's kind of like a revenge feeling, but we've got to get to this point where we're just being who we are without letting anybody else outside of us control how we behave and the decisions that we make. Because remember, we're projecting everything out through our thoughts onto our reality. So when I practice this, I think of it that way. I'm like, okay, what do I want to project today onto the screen of my life today? And I get up with that intention, like I want to feel at peace today. So, and then I look for those triggers throughout the day. I look for these instances that might stress me. And I'll be like, oh, I wonder why that stressed me. And I don't let it get to me anymore. I just simply acknowledge it and let it go. And the faster we do that, the more we grow and evolve. And you'll get so bored with the old way of being that you'll be like, that's not even what I want anymore. So it's really just a very a moment-to-moment practice that we have to remember that we're not perfect at it, but we can definitely get perfect at it with practice. So yeah, just remember that you are more powerful than you ever could even imagine. But start imagining how powerful you are. Use that imagination. Use your thinker only to imagine things, not to overthink things, because we've got to just sometimes let go and just shut our mouths sometimes. So I think I'm going to shut my mouth now too. So I'll let you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this helped you, please share it with somebody else who might benefit from the information. And please like and subscribe if you'd like to. And remember, you're so loved. Pass that on to anybody who might need to hear that. And remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.